Hello and welcome everyone to a Sacred Symbols reading. I'm your host, Desiree DeMars, and it is Saturday, July 15th, just prior, a couple days prior to the new moon in Cancer. So I believe I spoke a little bit about this last time, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm going to just dive in and let the bones speak to us this time around. So for those of you that like to follow the meditation or the invocation, I invite you now to just close your eyes, tune into your breath, and get yourself grounded, whether it be sitting with your feet on the floor or lying down and relaxing. Just notice the breath as it flows in and flows out. And if you're feeling the craziness of the energies lately, as you inhale, bring your shoulders up and exhale through your mouth. And just let your shoulders drop. And just feel further and further away from your ears. Naturally and easily, helping you to ground, feeling your spine too, lengthening downward towards the earth. And now imagine a brilliant white light coming down from the heavens and anchoring you even more deeply. Down and down and down. Relaxing even more deeply so that you can become fully receptive to the information that's flowing through these sacred symbols today. And as you feel yourself anchoring even more deeply into the earth, to Pachamama, imagine as that fills your container or fills the space and begins to expand up and around you, imagine that deep, warm, luscious, molten light that's emanating from the center of the earth, that iron core. Just feel that, the magnificence of the life force as it activates your root chakra, the color red. New beginnings, vitality, the blood, right? The brilliance of the sun, the sunset. And then imagine that activation at the base of your spine ignites all the others: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and white. Back up, out through the top of your head, through your central channel, which is that hollow bone, that center point within your spinal cord, which is the conductive container for that electromagnetic energy to flow up through your spine. Awakening the bones, right? Your own bones, your ancestors, your ancient wisdom and information, the communication line to all that is, to all that is. So imagine those emotions being activated too. Joy, peace, and strength. These are the higher realms of these chakras. Joy, peace, and strength. Courage at your heart. Gratitude, humility, and divine love. And feel those emotions. Feel them flow upward, spiraling up and out, expanding out like a fountain, shining back down in your toroidal field. This field that is the starlight, the container for the starlight in this lifetime, the star that you are. And now creating a sacred circle with me in order to bring guidance, protection, strength, clarity. Call in any and all guidance, guides, angels, and teachers that you have, that you call upon for protection, right? For shielding. And just know that it can be permeable, that it has an intention, though, of boundaries, healthy boundaries. So that's what's mine is mine, and what's yours is yours. So feel that fine line, that space, right, between what is mine and what is yours, so that we are sovereign and free, right, to make choices from a clear space. And then with that space protected, shielded, strengthened, imagine a beautiful circle, a web of light around us. Feel it circling, expanding, and calling in all of the directions, the east, the south, the west, the north, above, below, and the middle. Calling in all of the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, plasma, neutrinos, and gammas. And all those elements yet unknown to man. Come and be with us. Come and be with us. Sit in this gracious circle of love, appreciation. Guide us, teach us, inform us, co-create with us here today on this good red road that we all are walking upon in our own sacred way. Come and be with us. Come and be with us. All of our guides, angels, teachers, guardians, those seen and unseen, the magical and the mystical. Come and be with us. Come and be with us. The two-legged, the four-legged, the many-legged, the winged ones, the finned ones, the creepy crawlers. Come and be with us. Join us in this sacred circle of truth, this sacred circle of understanding, of exploration. Come and be with us, all of our ancestors, those who've gone before us, lived a good life and transcended, and are now here working on our behalf, your behalf, today in this Sacred Symbols reading. Come and be with us, all those whose names we do not know, but whose blood runs through our veins. Come and be with us. Come and be with us. Join us in the sacred ceremony of receiving, of understanding and knowing higher wisdom, being in touch with the superconscious. Know that this intention overall for all of us is to be able to tap in that field, right? The knowing field, where it is all available. There are no limitations. There are no polarities, restrictions, and confinements. It's pure light, pure creative source. So with that said, in gratitude and appreciation, allow from the heart a deeper intention to well up for you today. This new moon marking the time, the perfect time to create intentions you want to see fulfilled by the next full moon coming in 2 weeks. Feel the essence of your desire, of your passion, of your knowing, of your ability to be a container for that, and allow for that to come to you through this beautiful gift we have of creating intention. becoming for a moment with the breath the I am presence so that it reverberates out into the field. I for your intention. A for your attention. Put all your attention, 100% of your intention, on this intention. And M for movement, the holo movement, the wholeness of who we are in motion, always spiraling through space, right? Faster than we can even imagine. And then again, just feeling that in your heart with the knowing that it will come to fruition simply because you have asked and you shall receive. And now I'll just rattle for a few seconds, allowing that alpha theta state. You can imagine, if you'd like, that beautiful figure 8, right? Alpha, theta, alpha, theta. And just imagine the brain waves don't stop and start. Yes, we have designations for certain ones that we know functions are related to, but the truth is there is no line, there is no barrier, and they are constantly in motion, right? Co-creating, like the yin and the yang, more of one and less of the other, moving like the ocean waves, eternal and infinite. So again, with gratitude and appreciation, holding this intention in your heart, putting all of your attention on the fact that it is already so, and allowing the movement to take you there, to take it or bring it to you, if you'd like to visualize it that way, all of it coming to you. And then allowing the rattle to concretize that, to solidify that, to strengthen that reality, that truth for you. Beautiful. So I've made an offering, and now I'm going to ask you to imagine that you're sitting here across from me, and these symbols, a little shake and a clearing, and then having you, along with me, blow 3 times into the basket. Thank you. Okay. So that was an interesting throw so far. Really fascinating. Just notice whatever jumps out for you. I just went right to the center here. This is pretty interesting. We've got the 4 and the grandmother, your grandmother on your mother's side, and the great ones on your mother's side, and another ancestor here, which is that which has not yet been created. Could be a child that was lost through a miscarriage, abortion, an early death, and did not live a full life. And as I've said before, it could also be ideas that never came to fruition or intentions. And it's pretty open here right at the center. So I think that's fascinating. We've got the greats and the greats and the great great greats and the great great greats. We've got something going on here close to you at this point, which is fascinating. This piece here vertically is the mind, the balance of the mind, and this open shell is you. So, keep an open mind. It's fascinating that it ended up completely vertical here. That I'm always amazed, which is, my usual is there are three sides to every coin, a front, back, and the edge. And when you're on the edge, you have the advantage of seeing both sides. So, look at both sides. In fact, I think with this Cancer new moon, it's a beautiful, Cancer is a beautiful sign, full of emotion and water and soft, caring, and yet it can be, it can spin kind of out of control, like, and it can be, if a wave comes crashing down, just think it can be cloudy, it can be full of sand, it can be chaotic. So there's two sides to the coin, right? So whatever, if you're in having some kind of a decision or making some kind of decision, it seems like something is very important here to just pay attention, because especially because the lock is here. The eye of God is here, and Buddha or Panther is looking right into it. And below all that is make a wish, and the highest of highs above the crown chakra, it is all coming to us. But what's important is that, there are aspects of this incredible transfiguration we're all going through that is going to still be a great mystery. Is it going to be chaotic? Yes. Is it going to be full of magic and mystery too? Yes. Do we know exactly how that proportion is, or, how it will eventually turn out? Not really. Not really. There are so many aspects of individual choice, right? Of free will, and or your free will, let's say, that is all about choosing how you look at the things that come into your life that happen. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So that's interesting, because there's a lot going on here. And if I were to say this is east-west, a lot's going on in the west. The east is clear. Yep, in fact, it's amplified. Jupiter is there below Buddha, this clarity of mind, the third eye open. And then let's move around the diamond here, or the medicine wheel. We've got, let's see, did I say that right? Yes. Okay, this is Venus in the north, and then the great ones, like I said, in the south. So at center is, I would say, this is all about paying attention to the foundation, building either a new foundation, restructuring the foundation, and calling in the great ones, the greats. Come and be with us. Come and be with us, all the great ones. Let's just imagine that they are here beside us, sitting in this circle, along with your grandmother. It's like the wise woman, right? The grandmother. And this is where the power lies, in that sense of grandmother. And then the ancient ones we have here are the men, the masculine, the paternal ancient ones, the men, and your paternal lineage, the ancient men. So that's fascinating. Here, the ancient men and the beauty and wisdom of the grandmother, especially your mother's mother, your mother's great ones, right? So, yep, east, it's all about moving. Keep it moving. Here's grandfather on your father's side, moving. Keep things moving. And here's our little timekeeper. Where is our other? Here. and they're both up. So there's something, this too, I wanted to point out early on. So this, if this captured your imagination for some reason, this is the intention. And then here is mother. So that's interesting, right next to timekeeper. And oh, very interesting. As soon as I said that, I realized the other timekeeper here is at the father. The little blue bone here, tipped bone, is father, and this is his father, your grandfather. So your father and his father. And they are here. There is something about the blueprint, right? Your father holds a key to the blueprint. Tap into that understanding or that knowing about your father's lineage, especially on an earthly realm, right? We have the earth and we have this idea of abundance. So look at where you can find abundance through your father's lineage, or heal that which is not. Put some attention, some kind of focus, put some energy, some fire. This is Mars. All right, give it some gas. Move forward. If you've been thinking about something around ancestral work, especially, or saying something to your father or your grandfather, or if they've crossed over, just speak to them. You can speak to them just as I'm speaking to you here and now with your intention. Right, and this is all about community. So, grandfather, oh, great one, the wisdom of my paternal lineage coming through you, and that which ignited or sparked something in my own father, right? And then brought to life or brought to fruition in my life this possibility of something on the earthly plane, right? Beautiful. So call that in, that energy. And know too, there is the feminine. Here's the ancient feminine. So the women on your mother's side, the ancient ones. It's like she's here keeping things in balance, right? So beautiful, because things are going to be sudden and unexpected, definitely, at the foundation and even the new foundation. Don't give up. Things are going to feel maybe even more expanded or greater than they are. They might feel amplified right now, both good and bad, wanted and unwanted. And as we go around here, just remember that everything is sacred, right? We're just being called to remember the sacred in all things, even the things we don't enjoy sometimes, or we resist, but remember that even that is part of our learning process. And then we have the shaman with such an interesting little piece. We have the third eye inside the shaman. So go within for insight right now, especially as a collective, we're having a soul remembering. When you feel you're at a fork in the road, go within, tap into your third eye, see with deeper insight, right? Use your insight. And those great ones are here really saying, yes, on this fork in the road, especially with the collective going through all of this, we're all being affected by this Gemini new moon. And it's just the perfect time to ask for what you want. This is drum, and this is buffalo tooth, and this is home. So speaking your truth about home, or speaking what it is you want to manifest in your heart about home, right? Something in your home, or something where you spend a lot of time, right? And know that you will be provided for, that there is enough. This is the truth, right? And Saturn, so, and just know that may not have been the programming or the conditioning that you received. I know, I don't think I did as a child, I think I discovered, a year or so ago, that my great grandmother, who I happen to know, my grandma Belle, who lived to be in her 90s, so I knew her, but unfortunately I wasn't old enough to really have a great conversation with her. And she was pretty quiet by then. So, but what I learned about her was she had 14 children and lived on a farm. I can't imagine. I just can't even imagine that reality. She spent her entire uh, adult life birthing and taking care of children. So that was her passion, I guess, or her choice in that lifetime. And that was her purpose, apparently. It's too bad I didn't get to really talk to her about it. But there's something powerful here too about the medicine, calling in medicine for the home, something going on in your home, and making that a sacred ceremony, right? Seeing the medicine, because the medicine is probably right here at home, right? Or whatever you're asking for clarity and guidance about, know that it's right here, it's close to home. And that ceremony can be as simple as just asking or just putting yourself in a physical place, in a spiritual, sacred place, right? Which the hand would indicate that it's actually just being in your body. If you feel like you're spinning your wheels, get yourself grounded, right? And you will then be able to see with insight what it is you're looking for right here in front of you. Probably right in your home. Everything is right here at home. E.T. call home, right? And then we have our little friend, Frog, our little collective, our harbinger of the collective, and he's on his side too, so that's kind of interesting. Seeing both sides, seeing maybe the bigger picture of what is yet to come, and yet tapping into the circle of who we're involved in, our community, right? Our people, our family, our extended family. Let me center this a little bit. And then further on the outskirts too, we've got the ancient ones on mother's side, the female ancient ones. And the reason I usually wouldn't even maybe drag the spread out that far, but here this seems important, is that we have the key. So the ancient feminine is a key component to this idea or inquiry of the lock of what was kind of hidden from us, what was locked up, what was not available. And that is the wish, digging deep to wish for what you truly want. Wish big. I always say, wish big. And then as we move around to this other side here of this collection, which is there, like I said, there's a lot going on. It's kind of like a rebirth on your father's side, the great ones, the grandmother. She is having like a rebirth in her head, a reconfiguration maybe of her state of being, of her idea about work. I think this is speaking to what's going on with even our world shifting into more AI, and whatever that's going to mean for each of us, right? Robots, different kinds of jobs, different kinds of activities, but that's here, right? It's kind of here on this western side. And now I'm saying western, it's on my left, but it may be on the right, because if you're sitting over here, this would be your right. So just take in the words that I'm saying, and not so much the restriction of the spatial mapping. Okay. So yeah, this, I would say here, right close to you at the base, at the foundation, is something fundamental, something maybe new beginnings, or a redo of some sort, a recreation of something. And I think that really resonates. This is the moon. So there's just a lot of water, a lot of emotions throughout the reading spread around. But also, because of this being in the sign of Cancer here with this new moon, I think this is reflecting what I mentioned a little bit in the last reading was this time is also denoting a shift in the nodes, the north and south nodes in our charts, all of us. And so I refer to Pam Gregory for the best explanations, but I'm sure you can find all kinds of incredible astrologers out there speaking of this. But this north-south node, who we are in the world and who we are internally, making this kind of dynamic shift. And one way to know about the theme, if I can get this correct, 24 degrees of 24 degrees of Cancer. What in your chart? Look at your birth chart. What was going on at 24 degrees in Cancer? Or take a look at or remember 2004, I believe it was December 2004 through 2006. We're looking at that same kind of a repetition of a similar frequency, a similar wave. It's almost like the backlash of that wave is coming back. And this has to do with, reviewing what your dream is. This is your vision, right? What is your vision? What was your vision in 2004 through 2006? And it's a perfect and excellent time to revision it, right? Or to recalculate, to clarify what it is you don't want and focus on what it is you do want, of the things that have remained the same, right? And so, yeah, what will be important with that is to take some time for introspection, for clarity of mind, and just know that, there'll be some emotions there with it all. But, those emotions are communicating to us. They are giving us feedback. This is a biofeedback experience, I would say. And seeing how you feel about looking at that time frame in your life now. And as I said, this is all about huge transfiguration. I mean, you've got Horus diving right in. Dive right in. I forgot who Pam quoted, but in her last, I think it was like a July review that she did, there was a famous quote that was said, somebody was asking others to come close, come close, come close to the edge. And then he said, jump, you can fly. And they were hesitant. They didn't want to. But when they got to the edge, he gave them a push, or she gave them a little nudge, and they flew. So I think that's a metaphor for the fear sometimes that we have about changing or taking a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith. It's a perfect time to take a leap of faith, because it's a perfect time to let go or release all that no longer serves you. And then to walk instead with this sword of truth. This is kind of like a little spearhead or a heart-shaped dagger. It's like for cutting away what no longer serves. And this is the sword of truth for allowing what is true for you now, right? What's true for you now. And then this baby flew all the way over. This is Pachamama. So as we round the corner, we're looking at, again, there's lots of emotions, lots of heartfelt experiences going on right now, or activities. And again, Venus, so truth, love, beauty, right? Or it could be money, finances. That is all in the air. And Deer Toe is all about staying in a place of innocence with it, with it. Same for like with your vision. you want to stay in your heart space, in the coherence of heart and mind, and let the heart lead the way. Right, that's what's important. Let the heart lead the way, because the DNA is going through huge shifts. And so you may need to take extra time in the next couple of weeks to really give yourself space to reflect. It's an important time for reflection. And then, of course, as I said, making your new moon intentions. And I'm just going to flow over here. Yeah, because as we come over into this quadrant, we're looking at the star nations and you being the star that you are. And this is what is being affected by the emotional impact of, let's see, where was I going with that? Of passion, right? Of what you feel passionate about. That is the gift of that childlike aspect of ourselves, right? The passion that we feel for something. It's not rational, and it's not going to come out of your mind. So you want it to be coming from the heart, in coherence with the head, and connecting to those higher realms, right? And this too is affecting your heart space, or your home space right now. We have home, and we have, I believe this is Neptune. So just a little, when you're feeling some of that fogginess, you're not feeling totally clear, it's just part of the reading, because this reading is also being adapted to another request that came through. So with that said, it brings us right around to the beginning, where the inquiry is. And this is where Mother is, I had mentioned, and the timekeeper, right? So it's actually a beautiful spread this week, and very spacious. I feel like there is actually a lot of space. But in order to feel that space, I think we need to dive more deeply into the silence, because that's where the space is, right? In the silence, in the receptivity, in the allowing, in the listening. And through this is how we will create a new foundation for moving forward. New foundation for moving forward. Wow, that was beautiful. So thank you all for joining me today. I hope you received some valuable information, insight, or wisdom, maybe just a reflection, a confirmation, an affirmation that resonates with you and helps propel you forward through this beautiful Cancer new moon. Aho. And I'm going to close the circle with just a little bit of rattling again. Oh.